Hello everyone, it's Man, and welcome to another Draft League. That's right, I'm your coach of the Montello Crobats, and this time we're joining a league called the Reticle Red Showdown Draft League, which is a low-tier draft league. Another one, yes, I know. But for those in the room that don't know what Reticle Red is a fan-made ROM hack made from Fire Red and Leaf Green. Introduces a lot of new features, gameplay, and a lot of changes, which I will go over any Pokemon that I have drafted for this draft league. For those wanting to play Reticle Red, I will see if I can get a link down in the description down below for those who want to download and play it themselves. I personally have never touched Reticle Red. I think I've seen one person play it, but I don't fully understand it. So this will be more of a disadvantage on my point of having to use a bunch of Pokemon that may or may not be suitable for gameplay anymore. Speaking of which, there are new Pokemon like Sevi Pokemon, which none of them I really have drafted. So let's go into our few draft Pokemon. Well, actually, let's explain the rules first. The first rule is this: do not forfeit. I think this rule was put in because during the whole draft process, we had a lot of people just not picking their Pokemon, so I think there's a good reason for this rule. We have the Dry Baton Pass is legal, which means you can use Baton Pass, but you cannot pass any self-gain positive stats or effects. Along with that, Evasion, Oko, Swagger, and Sleep Claws are applied in this, which means we cannot use Evasion, we can't use Oko. I think we can only Swagger one Mon, but I'm not going to use Swagger strats, and we can only put one Pokemon to sleep at a time, so that is also a thing. Along with that, there are a few banned abilities: Moody, Snowcloak, Sandveil, and anything that's a trapping, terrain surges, and weather abilities. Yep, this is another league where I'm not using weather Pokemon. I've learned my lesson that one league one time. Also, along with this, there are some few banned moves, being Last Respect, Shed Tail, Draco Barrage, Hidden Power, Gen 1 Beams, Clones, and Dark Hole. And for those who don't know what Dark Hole is, it's basically Dark Void, but 100% accurate. Items that are banned: Focus Band, Z Gems. Well, Z moves and gems, Terrain Extenders, Weather Rocks, and Evasion boosting items. So yeah, definitely no taking advantage of weather. So let's go over to our draft Pokemon that we decided to go for. Unfortunately, I was not able to go for Crobats, so I went for the next best thing. And Reverum. We've seen this Reverum actually sweep teams, and we're going with the same basic strategy. Go in and hit hard. With Reverum, we're hoping to just have at least its two typings come into effect, where since it's Seal Poison, it won't have too much trouble with any second type Pokemon, and if we get like its stats boosted enough, it can easily sweep teams. So the fact that this is going to be this was my first pick, it will be a lot powerful to deal with. But speaking of fast Pokemon, we do also have Superior. We do with Contrary and Overgrow, more or less contrary. I'm hoping to successfully use the Leaf Storm strategy in this league. With our next Pokemon, Gastrodon! He's not a very hard hitter, but when need to, I can stall and more or less stop any water type attacks coming in. It is very bulky and very reliable. I just have to be careful of that one grass type type Pokemon that will just eventually take it out every time. We're also bringing in Vivillon. Originally, I was going to go for Mega Butterfree. Someone sniped that from me. So we're going to have to go with the next best thing and go with this. So we do have Shield Dust, Compound Eyes, and Friend Guard. Friend Guard is useless, but Compound Eyes makes gives a 30% more accuracy, which means a lot of accuracy moves that were just 70 become guaranteed, which means if we bring Vivillon out on the right time, Sleep, Quiver Dance, another Pokemon that can come in and hit hard. Our next Pokemon is Turtonator, and notably enough, one Pokemon that actually gains changes in Radical Red. Along with having the ability of Shell Armor, it also gains two other abilities, Magma Armor and Valiant Shield. Valiant Shield, a lot of you might remember from Sword and Shield being the Shield Samata, I believe it's called. I don't know, the Shield Doggo. Valiant Shield would actually raise its defense, while Magma Armor prevents Frostbite. I don't see a situation where someone's bringing in a Frostbite team, but if I do see it, Magma Armor could come in clutch here, along with Valiant Shield. Just having extra defense on Turtonator, I think we found a better Avalugg if this works. And our next Pokemon, Kamala! Its stats are not that great to laugh at, but the fact that it's a normal type and it can come into any sort of situation that I really need, along with having Comatose. I switch this in if my opponent's doing strategy stuff, well, status stuff, and it won't get a status. So this Pokemon's constantly asleep, so that's something good for me. And now we have Swoobat, and I actually do have a good story with this. Also, the changes in Radical Red, it loses Klutz, but that's not much of a loss there. When I first was getting into Draft League, I am strongly against jetting Pokemon. I wanted to use an unaware and rare Pokemon just to see if I could bypass Pokemon stat boosts with this. Swoobat does have high speed, but its other stats like defense might be lacking, but it's if my opponent wants to take out Swoobat, it has to take it out fair and square. Otherwise, it also does have Simple, which means another hard hitter. And for our final hard hitter, Nosepass. I'm gonna just keep this one a surprise why I drafted it. It's not because I had too few points, because I had 2 points left over. I'm just gonna keep this one a surprise because it's something I saw in another draft league, and well, a similar concept to another draft league that I was in, and I want to see if I can pull it off in this one. This will be a 5-week draft league, so join us back when we go against our first opponent in week 1.